The format will be very similar to earlier today, in which we will go right down the aisle and let each candidate or representative for the candidate speak about themselves for 2 minutes, and then in that time frame, communicate a little bit about the policies that are important to them, their campaign, and really to the city.
Yeah, my name is Tracy Gordon. I live in Southwest Philadelphia. I'm one of 4 candidates that's running for the 2nd council seat, which entails a large portion of Southwest Philly from 58th and Woodland to the airport, and a large portion of South Philadelphia, which is West of Broad, which is Point Breeze area, all the way through the stadiums and the Navy Yard, and a small bit of Rittenhouse Square.
Thank you for having us here this evening, allowing us to be able to share our views about what we would like to do with the city, what we would like to see happen in City Hall. This particular year, there is going to be a dramatic change with respect to how City Hall is made up. There are a lot of open seats that are available. This is the perfect time for Philadelphia to be corrected and move forward instead of moving backwards.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much for staying and giving us an opportunity to address you. My name is Verna Tyner, and I am a candidate for the 8th Council District. I reside in the Tioga section of the city. Does everybody know where that is? Okay. That is what they consider the lower part of the 8th Council District. The district, as was said earlier, goes all the way up to Chestnut Hill. It is a very diverse district, but that's what makes it so unique. That's why we here tonight and others are desiring to become the council person to represent this district.
We're now going to have Christian Dunbar, and you are speaking on behalf or for Damon Roberts.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. First, I'd like to thank the African American Chamber of Commerce as well as the Barristers Association for having this. Damon would like to apologize for not being able to be here with you guys today. He really wanted to be here, but could not. First of all, Damon is a block captain, a Democratic committee person in the 36th Ward. He's a real estate and land use attorney. He has his own firm, so he is a small business owner. He is Harvard educated. He also went to Columbia, got his law degree from Howard University.
This is from the audience, and this deals with crime and youth violence and how you would deal with it in your particular district. We're going to start with Tracy and go back that way, so we reverse the order a little bit.
Well, one of the first things that I would like to see and pray to see, I mean, we may say it'll never happen, but we also believe that we would never have a black president. So I'm gonna keep hope alive on that. Let's elect our own school board. We're the only city and county in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania that gets a selected school board. And this is nothing against our current superintendent, but I'm saying that I want somebody to come and we elect like they all elect us. Because what I see in working in the schools is the curriculum is not adequate, is not relevant, and it's not working. And all this money is going out and going out, and our kids are not prepared.
I think Tracy is exactly right, that youth violence is an education issue. And I mean, as early as 8th grade, sixth grade, you can kind of, you can really determine, if some of our youth will be, the perpetrator of violence or the victim of violence. So I think it starts with our education system. Now, how you go about fixing our education system, I mean, first and foremost, there has to be a certain level of accountability from our parents. Yes. We have to have our parents come out and participate more in their child's education and play a bigger role in that. I mean, as far as the school board is concerned, I think electing our own boards makes a lot of sense. But the school system, I mean, it's a huge, I mean, $3+ billion, and how we go about fixing that. I mean, I think Damon would have a better answer specifically on fixing the school system, because it's an answer that we've been trying to answer for a long time.
I could talk on this specific subject all night. What you said is true. It starts at home. But part of the problem with respect to the school is, one, kids are being labeled, especially boys, especially African American boys, as if they are not following protocol in the classroom and sitting there like this, then they're being labeled ADD or ADHD. If they're being labeled ADD or ADHD and the parents don't have the necessary resources or the necessary education to know what's going on, then they start medicating these kids. So now if you have a medicated kid and then you take all the ancillary services out of the schools, no art, no music, cutting back on a recess, cutting back on a gym, now you have a lunchtime and a gym period that's combined for 40 minutes, and the only activity they get through the course of the day is that 40-minute situation. So now you have a medicated kid, you have a kid who has no resources as far as being able to expend the energy, and then you put them up in the classroom with 35 or 40 other kids who are in the same situation. And then you want to know why you have a problem with violence? I mean, really, you have to look at it realistically, and you have to put the other stuff back in the schools. You have to be able to have the other programs outside of school and have them have a way to expend the energy.
I must add also that a public school graduate, I feared my teacher, but I also had the opportunity to have some faith base in my school. And I think that we have allowed the government to dictate to us too much and to take away our value systems. And I would like to see something be done about that. Doesn't necessarily have to be prayer, but I think they should give these young people opportunity to learn some value systems in the school. But I also have to say that one of the things that kept me engaged was music. And I was, kind of energetic, and I needed to let loose. And the only way that I would stay out of trouble was to go play an instrument. So it was very good for me to have another opportunity. But we do need to hold our parents accountable. We need to make sure that I also say, right now, our public schools are restrictive. They only allow parents and family members to actually come in and do the volunteerism. There are so many retired people, seniors and grandparents, who would love to go in and be a little bit more business people like yourself, who would love to go in and volunteer a little bit in our school system. And I have already begun looking into that, and I believe that all of that activity will reduce our crime because you're building up their self-esteem.
We thank the Barristers Association for partnering with us. We also want to thank the Enterprise Center for partnering with us, and the Committee of 70 for partnering with us as well. Thank you to all the candidates and the representatives of the candidates. Thank you to our moderator, Sherman. Thank you to the chamber staff, Regina Dyson, Tanya Hayes, Heidi Franklin. We just thank you all for coming out, and don't forget to vote May 17th.